Earl. We're here at Pure Plastic Surgery today, and it's Hump Day with Dr. Earle. And today we got a special Hump Day because we got some very special guests. Okay, we got Cato here and Jenny. Okay, they're from the kind of coordination department. All right. And today what we want to talk about is kind of the process that everyone needs to go through in order to book a procedure here at Pure Plastic Surgery, okay? So we like to do these every once in a while because, okay, we get a lot of inquiries, people asking, how to book, where do they go, who do they communicate with, and sometimes, trying to, do all that, especially when you're not here in Florida, can be, a little bit challenging sometimes or confusing, okay? So today we're going to go over that entire process. They're going to give you some great details as to how to be, how most efficiently to basically get a quote, book your surgery, and get prepared and everything else. All right? Okay. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. Who wants to take it off? All right.
So how you're going to begin our process in order to start getting booked is you're going to visit our website, pureplasticsurgery.com. You're going to click on the right-hand side where it says virtual consultation. You're going to fill out the questionnaire, attach your photos. Once we receive that, Dr. Earle will evaluate your file. Then a coordinator will contact you with more information.
So that's for the initial inquiry. What about if they're re-inquiring?
So if you're re-inquiring, it's actually very important that you don't resubmit your information again because first off, it clogs the system, and then also it kind of puts you behind. It's kind of like starting the process all over again. So what we ask is that you either give us a call to the office or you send us a Clara or just get in touch with your coordinator so we can follow up with you, see, what's the status of your quote, if the doctor's already evaluated everything. If not, we can go ahead and begin that process. But it's very important that you get a hold of us so we can go ahead and get everything going for you.
Right, so let me just clear up a couple points there. So if it's the first time you're ever trying to get in contact with Pure, you've never sent in your information, we know essentially nothing about you, then we're going to direct you to our website. Okay, so a lot of inquiries come in through social media. I get a lot of DMs on IG, on TikTok, Facebook, and things like that. And typically the first thing that we send you is that link. You're going to go out to that link on the website. Now, sometimes when you try to hop on that link directly from the social media, it doesn't quite work. Like sometimes, the photos may not upload or things like that. If that's not working, then just simply copy and paste that link into your browser, okay? And you can use a computer, or a lot of times you can use your phone as well, okay? So you're having issues with the link not working, just go ahead and just copy and paste the link, and that way it should work no problem. Once you get in there, you fill out all your information, you fill in you send the photos the way that they are specified, and that way I can look at everything and determine, whether you're a good candidate, and what would be the best procedure, for you, okay? The second part is, if you're already a patient, though, you don't have to start all over and do that process all over again, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you kind of get put all the way back in the line again, and we're booking out like 6-7 months, and you don't want to do that, okay? We love our current patients. You're part of the Pure family already, so just give us a call, or just contact us through Clara. Say like, hey, I had this procedure done already. You guys have all my information. Now I want to get this other thing done. And then we'll get right on it.
So you just brought up Clara. What is Clara?
So Clara is a HIPAA protected texting app that we have with all of our patients, and it's one of the safest ways to send all your information. You can chat with us, you can send pictures, videos, anything really. Sometimes it's even easier to get a hold of us through Clara because our phone lines can be very busy, and patients may call and they say, no one's answering. And it's just because it's really that busy on our end. So if you send us a message, we'll get back to you much faster, and everything's just going to go very smooth. So we really do recommend that rather than social media, also because Clara is on our end very safe. We can't guarantee that for social media purposes.
So is that the best way to get in contact with your coordinator?
Yes.
So do they message anywhere else, or just Clara to get in contact?
Clara.
Clara.
Yeah. So definitely Clara is probably the best and easiest way to get in contact with your coordinator. Like Gato just mentioned, okay, it is HIPAA compliant. Any information, photos, videos, etc. through there are all HIPAA compliant and protected, so you don't have to worry about that. Which of course is different than trying to writing a DM through IG or Facebook or anything like that. Okay, so once you've established your Clara, basically you downloaded the app. The one thing what is the most important thing we need to know for their Clara to work? It's their cell phone number, right?
Yes, and their date of birth.
And date of birth. Okay, so that's the one thing it does, because it is HIPAA compliant. it's kind of very specific in certain things. So your name, your date of birth, and your cell phone number all have to match, okay, for it to work, and that way it knows that you are actually the person, and therefore it allows us to then communicate through that venue.
So once you get a quote, what's the next step?
So once you get a quote, at that point you would let us know whether it's through care, if you have to think about it, or you call us at the office. We'll redirect you to the coordinator. The coordinator will start getting your process ready to get your deposit down. Your deposit is 20% of the total quote that they did give you, and then we pick a date with you.
All right, so once the process is already started and we're months down the road, if you have any questions for your coordinators, where do we go?
Claire.
The same thing.
Definitely
All right,
Claire.
easy.
All right, so there is always a question about the quotes, like how long does the quote last? Once you place your deposit, how long does that last? I think we get that question pretty often. So what are the answers to those?
So as far as how long the quote is good for, typically the day we give you the quote, that's pretty much the day that it is good for. Prices are subject to change. As far as when you book, you have a full year to undergo your surgery. So for example, you book today, March 10th, you have until March 10th of 2022 to go ahead and have your procedure done. If you have to reschedule or cancel or anything like that, it's best to let us know at least 30 days prior to your procedure so we can work with your schedule and accommodate you and make sure you don't lose your deposit or anything like that.
So can you schedule a date for surgery if you haven't placed your deposit?
You cannot. We do need your 20% deposit in order to go ahead and lock in your surgery date as well as your surgery quote that we provide to you.
Okay. So you get that, so that's incredibly important. So if you want to actually lock in a date, okay, the deposit needs to be placed. You cannot lock in a date without placing the deposit. Now, we do our deposits a bit differently than most places, especially here in Florida, which I think we do in a way that's incredibly fair, because we know that life happens, things can happen, but all our deposits are actually 100% refundable until 30 days out from surgery, okay? All right, we're not in the business of just taking people's deposits and not, providing any service. That's not what we're here for. We're here to change lives, and of course that means actually getting a procedure and doing the surgery. But we do understand that things can happen, life, can happen, COVID can happen, and therefore that's why we have that policy. So can you just go into a little bit more detail about that? So the deposit is 20% of the quote.
Yes.
Okay,
so
but it is refundable, so kind of...
Right, so once you go ahead and you submit your deposit, like I said, you'll have up until 30 days to make any changes. It may be that you want to cancel, you want to reschedule, whatever the case may be. I always let all my patients know it's better if you even let us know 30 days prior, because you may be looking for your next day and perhaps it is available, perhaps it's not. We can put you on the wait list. But, the better we know and the more you keep us in the loop, the better for you at the end of the day. We're just here to go ahead and help you and make sure that you get what you want and that everything works out perfectly.
So once the patient first inquires, how long does it take for you guys to get back at them?
It's usually no more than 3 to 5 business days, as Dr. Earle does have to evaluate the file, and then it has to give him enough time to oversee that, and then we'll be able to contact them and let them know his feedback and let him know.
Okay, that's perfect for our next question. What is the process of getting Dr. Earle to see the photos, evaluate them with you, and then get the quote out?
So Dr. Earle's a very busy man, but he does go ahead and review everything. So usually once you submit the questionnaire with the pictures, he'll review the pictures, make sure you're a good candidate for the procedure of choice. If not, we'll try to go ahead and steer you towards the best procedure for you so you get the best results. And then once that's been done, then the coordinator, in this case myself, I'd go ahead and give you a call, let you know what he recommends, the reason why he recommends this, and we'll go through the quote, availability, and pretty much just get you started.
Right, so so first step is go to that virtual consult button on the website, you fill in your information, okay, that way we can gather all that information, okay, then I can evaluate it, I can make my recommendations, I can let the coordinator know, then the coordinator will reach out to you, okay. When she does that, you're actually going to go through a fairly extensive conversation that first time, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of information going back and forth, a lot of details. So when you kind of plan out that first call, don't do it like, if you only have 5 minutes in between meetings. That's not going to be a great time to do it, correct? You want to do it when you're kind of like calm, in a calm setting, have at least 30 minutes. How long do you say?
Yeah, about 20 to 30 minutes to make sure that, we got all the info we need from the patient.
Exactly. So you're going to need, say, at least 30 minutes or so. Have all your information ready, have, a lot of your questions ready, which a lot of them will be able to get answered at that point in time. And that way, it can be a very effective, very efficient call.
How do you guys schedule? Do breast dogs, let's say, get a closer date than BBLs? Are there a certain amount of surgeries you can add to one day? What's that process?
So right now we're fully booked up until the last week of September. So really it's just if there is sometimes cancellations, reschedulings, we're able to go ahead and move up patients or fill in that slot. But as of right now, it's not really, one procedure taking priority over the other one. It's really our availability. Right now we're fully booked up until like early fall, more or less. So
when a patient is booked, how do you add it to the schedule? Does he only take a certain amount of BBLs in one day, or?
That is correct. Yes. He only takes a certain amount of BBLs in one day.
Right. So there's a certain amount of cases in a day and a certain amount of specifically BBLs in a day. Okay. So typically no more than 5 cases a day. Although we have maybe a couple of smaller cases, perhaps we can do 6 if say they're not all large cases, but and typically no more than 4 BBLs in a day. Okay. All right. So there is a wait list. Okay, because if there is a cancellation, then potentially we can get people in sooner. As of right now, we're like we said, pretty booked up through September. Just to answer that question, is it easier to sometimes slip in a short case than a longer case? Yes. I mean, if you're a breast dog and it's a 30-minute case, and typically we have a cancellation, we can do something like that. However, if it's a big case, say what we call the trifecta, which is say a mani makeover plus a brachioplasty, that's going to be tougher to kind of just slip into the schedule. So yeah, it's, the length of case does matter a little bit as well.
So what do you guys do in cancellation? If there's a cancellation, is there a wait list?
We do have a wait list, and then we're able to put you on that wait list depending on the month that you're interested in, or the week, or the day. It all varies, and then once we do have that opening, we revisit that waiting list, and then we're able to see, depending on the procedure and the availability overall, if we're able to put that person in forward.
And also kind of taking into consideration that patients do have to be cleared, and there is a lot of work in the back end that is done on the office. So definitely we want to make sure that the patient is healthy, that everything's good to go, and then we'll go ahead and proceed to move that slot. To fill in that slot with the patient.
Right. So that's a great point, right? So we cannot do something that's too soon. That's why that's why your deposit is 100% refundable until 30 days out from surgery. Okay, because once we get into that 30-day window, trying to fill in the spot becomes very, very difficult, because we got to make sure we have all your clearances and that it is actually safe, for us to do that surgery for you. So, it becomes difficult to then kind of try to get someone to just fill in and have all their labs, their chest X-ray, their EKG, their medical clearance, and everything else. Okay. So of course, if you're someone that's on the wait list and you kind of have those things, ready to go, that would be very, very helpful. But because as soon as we tell you it's go time, we need to gather all that information and make sure that it's safe to do that surgery for you.
Thank you very much. Do you guys know when, or really for Dr. Earle, when you will conduct live consultations in-house?
Yeah, so unfortunately we don't have a specific date for that as of yet. It seems like it's getting closer, but it all really depends on COVID, vaccination rates, and things of that nature. So as of right now, in Florida, we're not to the point where we can offer that. Right now vaccination is mostly for people that are 65 and older, healthcare workers, teachers, and whatnot, but it's not open to the general public yet. And so we haven't reached a point where there's enough immunity out there that we all feel comfortable having a bunch of live consultations. And the other thing is that not all our staff has been able to get vaccinated at this point either. So once those things come into play, then we'll be able to open up for live consultations. But really a key thing is going to be once all the staff is able to get their vaccines, those who want to get their vaccines, that's going to be a key player in that decision as well.
Thank you. Question for the girls. What if I just want to book without a date and pay until I'm ready to make a date? Is that okay?
It's not. So we do have to go ahead and place you on a day, and it just benefits you overall, because at the end of the day, let's say you call in today and you don't have a set date, and then you kind of wait it off. By the time you're ready to go ahead and choose the earliest date available, we may be by December. So, it doesn't benefit you. So we definitely do have to choose a date. If you want to change it, we can go ahead and make that change. You can make changes up to 2 times with no additional cost. If you've already booked and then you just decide to make a third change, at that point you do have to pay off your surgery fully prior to getting onto the surgery schedule kind of with a new date.
How long in advance do you have to get the medical test done?
30 days in advance.
Yeah, so
30 to 45
you want to, yeah, exactly. So we're going to start contacting you about 45 to 30 days before surgery. Okay, that's you kind of then head off to a little bit of a different department at that point in time. So ladies here are with coordination. That you're going to do through the pre-op department. Okay. So you're going to be getting that call about 45 to 30 days before surgery. That should give you plenty of time to get all your labs, your EKGs, your medical clearance, and everything else, and have all that into us at least 2 weeks before surgery, so that we can make sure that you're all cleared and good to go.
Next question. What if the person, this is back to the consultation question, what if the person who wants to come in has their vaccination for COVID? Will you do a live one in that case, or?
So we're not fully open for live consultations at this point in time. Again, there's a lot of information there that's just quite not known yet. So is it possible someone that is vaccinated can be a carrier, and one of our staff members who's not vaccinated can get it? Is a possibility still. So that's why I don't want to commit to anything at this point in time. Like I said, I feel like it is getting closer. Vaccination rates are going up. The number of cases are going down, and so we just gotta continue to monitor that situation. And as soon as we have a set go date, we'll let everybody know.
Question for the girls, really quick. When is the earliest availability?
It's gonna be for the last week of September.
All right, so for the last week of September. And do we offer financing options or anything else to help patients out with payments?
Yes, we do. We work with Care Credit and Alpheon. They cannot be used towards a deposit, but you could use them for the remaining balance.
Thank you. Can you go into detail about Care Credit? What is that?
Yeah, of course. So Care Credit is a financing company that we offer. In regards to exactly their percentages and their monthly that you're going to sign up for, that's through them directly. That you have to sign up and see if you qualify. But we cannot process that payment through Care Credit until 30 days prior to surgery, till the services are being rendered.
And aside from that, we do allow you to wait up until 2 weeks prior to surgery to go ahead and make your full payment. So you can place your deposit and then just wait up until that 2 week mark, and we'll have someone give you a call, let you know, hey, there's a pending balance, if that's the case. Or if not, you use your financing, whatever works best for you.
Right. So the absolute latest that you can do your full payment is 2 weeks before surgery,
yes,
right?
2 weeks prior to
it cannot be any closer to surgery than that. Okay. And then we have, we talked about Care Credit, Alpheon, or if you want to kind of pay off your surgery, little by little, as you're waiting, 6 months or whatever it is, that's acceptable as well, correct?
Yes, and you'll have access to a patient portal as well, so you're able to log in there, make payments on your own. It's very easy, so it's up to you at the end of the day if you choose to just wait or.
Yeah, so that's a great tool. Tell them a little bit about the patient portal, how it works, what they can do with it, what they can see in it.
Definitely. So on the patient portal, once you come in, you have to go ahead and actually set everything up, because you have to fill up the medical questionnaire with all your info. On there, you'll also be able to see your appointments, the times, current balance, what you're scheduled for. So that's pretty much it on that end, but it definitely works out for patients, because sometimes, they don't have the time to call us in or for us to send them that credit card authorization form to make that payment, so they can pay as they go.
Right, so it's very, very convenient in that sense. Once you're kind of established and everything else, you're going to have that patient portal. You can always get into it and do many, many things through there, and get a lot of information regarding your records and photos and things like that as well, for after surgery. Okay, so patient portal is very important. The easiest way to communicate, especially with the coordination team, is through Clara. Okay. And that's also one of the easiest ways to communicate with us, if you have questions, during or after surgery as well, as long as it's not an emergency, okay? So I want to be very clear on that. Clara is not for something that you think is urgent or an emergency, okay? If it's urgent or an emergency, you call the office. If it's after hours, it's the exact same number. You just have to follow the prompts, and you're going to take you to a call center, which will then contact me, okay? So if it's an urgent or an emergency, okay, you use the phone number for the office. You do not use Clara. You do not use Facebook or Instagram or any sort of social media for some sort of urgent matter. Okay, if it's a true emergency, then of course you call 911 as in any acute medical situation. Okay.
So for post-op patients who just have mild questions, are you guys available on the weekends through Clara, or is it any other way to contact your coordinator?
So Clara is available through business hours. Okay, so that's basically the point that I was just making. Okay, so it's something that's not urgent. It can wait till the next day. Then yeah, you can send the Clara at 8 p.m. but it's not going to be seen till the next day during business hours, okay? But most, a lot of questions can be answered in that way. And if you send it, at 8 p.m. Friday, you probably won't get an answer till Monday, okay? But if it's something, like I said, if it's something that's a bit more urgent than that, then you're going to use that call center.
So you said Dr. Earle is booked until September. Is there a current wait list, and do you know how long that wait list is?
It depends, because when we put our patients on the wait list, we ask for a 2-week time frame. So we have an idea more or less when you're trying to have surgery. So it's going to be different for everyone. An exact date as to when we are fully booked, right now I believe it's September 22nd. Yeah, that's the exact date.
Okay.
So it's kind of a dynamic wait list. It's not a wait list in the sense that it's just like, 1 through 100,
yeah.
Okay? Because people that are on the wait list don't all want like the first available date. They may want a sooner date. They may not want to wait till September, but they may say something like, well, July is probably best for me. Or they may say, or somebody else may say, well, I really would love to do it in May, right? So that's why it's kind of a little bit of a dynamic wait list in that sense. So, if you're getting on the wait list, you say, what would be, like, say, the most ideal 2-week, window that you could do this? And then you'll give that, and then, based off of that, we have a cancellation, that specific window, then you'll be called to see if we can fill it.
So how long is the process from the initial inquiry to being booked for surgery? What's the average length?
That really depends on how fast you want to go ahead and move forward, because we have patients that we speak with the moment that we have their evaluation ready. We give them a call, we share the quote, and they're ready to, book and do everything. And if they take advantage of that, it's better for them, definitely. So the sooner you're ready, the sooner we can get you on board.
That's right. Okay, so from the initial kind of when you filled out the form, typically the average timing is about 3 to 5 business days,
3 to 5 days.
To get back to you. But if you have all your information ready, okay, because by the time you get that call, I've looked at everything, I've made my recommendations. So if you have everything ready to go, pretty much that call is it. You can book. You can book your surgery. You can make your deposit. You can do your everything that you need on that first call, so it can go fairly quickly at that point.
So for every call a patient has with you guys, are you guys at this point know what Dr. Earle likes, or do you always need Dr. Earle to give you advice on what the patients need as far as surgery? Or can you offer them advice as if they need a tummy tuck versus a BBL first?
We like Dr. Earle to review it just because he does have the medical expertise, so he does review each and every one of your files.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, of course we have preferences and everything else, but, I like to approve everything. I want to make sure that, we're on the right track. And so there's, less questions and things like that. And then, if for whatever reason, you feel like, what the coordinators have told you is not, you're still confused, you have more questions or whatever, and you want to set up a call, like a virtual call, that's available as well.
All right, thank you very much. I think that's it for the questions with coordination. Anything else we have to cover today?
Anything else, ladies? For
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so just a real quick recap here. So booking at Pure, all right? So you're going to inquire, you're going to come through whatever means. Okay, you may come through the website, you may come through Instagram, TikTok, social media, or just, give us a call. But then, especially from out of town, we're going to ask you to go and fill out that virtual consultation on the website, okay? Once that is done, allow us about 3 to 5 business days so that we can review everything and have a coordinator reach out to you, okay? Once she reaches out to you, we're going to hook you up with Clara, which is a great system to get a lot of your kind of follow-up questions answered. A lot of your forms can be sent through there, and it's all HIPAA compliant and very, very safe. Okay. If you decide to book, your deposit is going to be 20% of the quote, but it is 100% refundable until 30 days out from surgery. Okay. And then in terms of financing, we offer care credit.
Thank you very much. One last question before we go. Is there a consultation fee that we want to discuss to our patients?
So yes, we do. We do have we have the option of a virtual consult with the doctor. However, if it is prior to booking, it is a $175 fee that does go towards your overall quote. So it would be applied to that, to the procedure of choice. If you end up just having the consult and you don't move forward with it, then that is non-refundable.
So if your surgery is booked, but I didn't have a consultation yet, can you just wait till the pre-op?
Yeah. You could definitely do that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely do that. So basically, if you're booked or you place a deposit, and we have a virtual consultation, then that's kind of part of the package.
Yeah.
But if you haven't booked, you're still kind of like in the air, or you're talking to different surgeons or whatnot, and you want to have an actual video call or consult, then there is a consult fee. And then if you decide to book after that, then of course that fee will go towards your surgery. Okay.
Thank you. And lastly, one last question: do the patients get to meet their coordinators because they've been working with you for months, building relationships? Ever get to see you guys in office if they want?
Yeah, definitely. So we are currently in an office right close to this building. So whenever we go ahead and the patients come in, if they do want to see us, we can definitely come over and
Beautiful. Thank you.
So it used to be pretty much 100% of patients before COVID, because they would meet every patient, and now since COVID, so we're doing a lot of things virtual and everything else. It's not all the patients. Yeah. But certainly, if somebody wants to meet, Caro or Jenny or whoever they've been talking to on Clara, just give us a heads up. They'll be happy to come over, say hi. You put a face to the name, and we're a big family here. That's the type of feel that we go for, in terms of our staff and our patients. So, we'd love to meet everybody. And I'm sure they would too, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, ladies.
All right, everybody. So, thank you so much. I hope this was informative, and I think it makes it kind of clear about how to go, in terms of this process here. All right, and we'll see everybody next week on Wednesday for
Hump Day.
There we go. Hump Day with Dr. Earle. We'll see